Welcome, Spartans.
Shut up.
Is that you or me? Take two.
Oh my gosh. Welcome, Spartans, to Halo TV Plus, part of Evolved, your home for Halo. I'm your host, Oran, and on Halo TV Plus, my guests and I recap Halo's original TV show, Halo the Series, and discuss its contents and unique canon within the Silver Timeline. I have a very special impromptu episode with my guest, Nick Castillo.
Hey folks, it's Nick here. Nice to meet you all. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining me in New York. We went to Alamo Drafthouse and got to see the first two episodes of Halo the Series in a movie theater.
Surprisingly not in Texas.
Not in Texas. Right. The Alamo Drafthouse.
Star State.
I mean, maybe it started in the Alamo.
I don't know, man. But speaking about Lone Stars, that chief in these episodes, man, we can just dive right into it. Because it's a lot to actually talk about after being teased that we'd be let in 20 minutes earlier than we were let in.
Oh, my goodness. We were delayed like an hour, I think. We were told we'd get in at 6, then 6:30, and then 7 when it's supposed to start, but we finally got in, and then where did we get seated?
Yeah, we thought we'd have reserved seatings. At least that's what I thought. The podcast Evolved name I know is so popular, so they would naturally flock to us.
I tried to just slap my podcast Evolved business card and be
is that what we call it these days?
Hey, I'm kind of a big deal over here. I need to get in now.
Yeah.
And so in response, they just slapped 2 tickets in the front row. In my face.
Which normally would be cool if you're seeing a live show or something like that, but...
Or on a roller coaster and you want the front row of the roller coaster ride.
Or if there's only one row and it's the front row. So that's the only
It's
row,
also the last row.
Whoa, we're getting too meta here, too. This is a whole nother podcast I'm not even ready for. But yes, we got seated front row of the theater, which was...
Not great.
Not ideal.
I almost started crying.
I swore I saw a tear, but it was allergies.
Yeah, it's about that time of season. It's technically the first few weeks or first week of spring. So,
is it?
Yeah, the 21st I think is the first day of spring up here in the.
Time is flying by so fast, Jesus. It was literally January. What did I come up last? It was February, I think.
Yeah, it was a few weeks ago. Yeah, two or 3 weeks ago.
And it feels like no time. All right, but. Yes.
I digress, but or you do anyway.
We both do.
Together
we digress.
We demanded different seats nicely.
We didn't demand it. We just simply... it was just very... we just asked if there's because they had multiple theaters running it. So
yes,
we said,
they had
can we go to another one?
They had 3 theaters, and when I checked online, they were all sold out. But I wonder if they were all just being given away, and maybe all the tickets just weren't.
Well, that's that's a whole nother podcast, Ticketmaster and that type of stuff. If you see, they'll say they sell out, but only 10% is bought by the population, and all the rest goes to third-party stuff.
But I think that's just what they did with the partnership with Collider.
Right,
so
right.
That's what this was. Steve Weinthrup, I believe is his name.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve. I tweeted at him, I emailed him, and he was gracious to get me and a +1 to this event. That was
Nick +1 Castillo.
Yep, that's what we call you.
Hashtag, yeah.
And we got relocated into a middle section and got very good seats, and I was able to...
Which was great because 2 people were about to ask that seat, but we asked right before them. But they were very nice. We sat next to them the whole time.
Yeah, they're our group buddies for the evening.
Much more space, 2 rows back, a little bit cooler just because there's less heat from everyone else's mouth breathing everywhere.
Yes, it was a jam-packed theater, the first one we went to. This one was only half, so... And they were giving away tickets starting from the back row, so there was no one in front of us. So we had the best seats in the house.
Honestly. The best seat would be on your lap, but that's besides the fact.
That's for another podcast.
Absolutely. Turn into the After Dark podcast, what we doing?
After Dark, it's 11 o'clock right now. I work at 5 in the morning.
Other situation depending on time. ODST. That's what famously known.
That's what it stands for in the Silver Timeline. We're about 5 minutes in and we haven't spoken about Halo.
Everyone's balls are blue.
Everyone's wondering what had happened, but Nick will be my first guest for the commentary and analysis episode for episode 1, so this is kind of a preview with him. And we're just going to kind of talk generally about it. We're not going to give major spoilers. I mean, we're releasing this episode same day that the show comes out on Paramount Plus. So you, of course, if you'd rather go watch the episode and then come listen,
go watch it.
You will have a little bit of context. But if you're at work or you're stuck at work and you wanted a little bit of Halo to get you through the day before you watch the show tonight.
I mean, honestly, people might even just want to mute the show and listen to us.
I don't
mean to say we're that good.
I don't know.
But
it's a pretty good episode.
It's like comparing tomatoes and tomatoes is the famous phrase, you know?
I loved the first episode.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm a bigger Halo fan than you are.
We said, the differences we view it as. Like, you're a huge, longtime Halo fan, and you brought me into it more, along with one of my other friends, Logan from Savannah. But, like, so it's crazy to see the different, like, side points and even stuff that, like, I remember from the games, but not fully. So it's almost like I'm watching the story unfold, where you're just like, you literally quote within the first 5 minutes, like, that's a line from the game. And I'm like, how in the hell, like one of the most obscure, like,
oh man, I kept like fist bumping every time, like, they kind of alluded to a character, or you see like a character's back, and like I knew who it was, and I'm just like getting ready for the moment. Like, the first episode just does such a nice job of getting you into the Halo world that if you're a fan of the series, you're familiar with. And so it was very gratifying from that standpoint, and you just take the story from there. You learn who these characters are. They, all look different than what we know in the games, but you get pulled in every single scene. You get introduced, and thematically, a lot of these characters, are representations of what they are in the games.
And speaking of when you're saying, like, pulling you into it, like, it seems like a chill opening, and it goes 0 to 100 real quick.
Yes, it does. Like, and even watching that whole sequence, like, take place was just like, this is how you open a Halo show. Like all the recipes of, like, what a Halo engagement is in the universe, not just the games, but just in all the books and the stories. Like the opening teaser, it's like kind of the beginning part of a television episode, is that foundational Halo sci-fi experience.
Which is, if I'm correct, and this is like from my basic Halo knowledge, is I like the fact, and that's like one of the reasons why I was drawn to Halo, besides having a good friend to play with, of course, Oren.
Thank you.
Is the fact of that, like, you're dropped into the middle of it right away. Like, Halo, it's not a setup. You do, like, a bunch of basic training and everything. The first mission of Halo is you escaping, like, your ship after just getting out of cryo.
You're literally in the middle of a war that's already going on.
It's great.
And this has the same sort of vibe. Even in Halo Infinite, you're in the middle of the banished occupation. So, like, that's very much not only just like a storytelling trope, but, like, it's kind of built into the Halo storytelling formula. And so they throw you in there, you get your context, you meet these characters, and then they throw some action.
Which is great for the people that already know the story, so they're just thrown right back into the action again with Chief. And for people like me who, like, if it's good, it's good. It was great.
I mean, I don't really want to say too much about certain scenes, but I think the biggest takeaway for me for the first episode is just introducing essentially the main cast. We don't get all the characters that we know about through promotional materials and some trailers and stuff, but in terms of the major cast that we will see for the whole season, I feel like they did a very good job introducing you to everybody,
and even the dynamic between a lot of them too, which was really nice to see, like, right away.
You're already seeing tension from the first, maybe the first scene, but like some of the introductory character scenes. Yes, there's already opposition, and it's exciting to see where that's going to be taken.
It's just I feel if we start to go into it, it's going to snowball, and then this will be a lot longer than a trailer, and then this will just be probably tomorrow's episode.
So we did watch the second episode. What I'll say about that is that I feel like it's not. It kind of starts getting into the weeds. You start learning a little bit more about who Chief is as a character.
Yeah.
And it's very much more character driven, which is something that if you've listened to some of the other episodes that we've talked about on Halo TV Plus, a lot of the showrunners and producers have always been talking about how they really want this to be a character driven story. It's very much of what Showtime and Paramount Plus want to push for their programming, and this show of all the other type of Halo media that like I've consumed over the years. From these first 2 episodes, I really can tell how much they're focusing on like the actual characters. Obviously, there's a big fight battle sequence in the first episode. Yes. They've teased others in future episodes, so that is an aspect of it. But the majority of this show will be about character exploration, inner character conflict, other characters and what they have to go through, and then just different morality and just like other types of viewpoints and ethnics that are being explored in the sci-fi setting.
It's always cool watching a handful of destinies or paths intersecting and how they do at what points, and that's what it's really, really exciting to see already with this. And even, I know you said we watched the first episode and the second episode, but we also got something at the very end if you want to talk about that.
Did. So there was an interview that Steven put on from Collider that was I guess, theater experience exclusive interview.
Yeah, I'd say so. That went over their generals about everything. And then
I mean, it's kind of a general interview. They talked about different aspects of the production, the filming, how COVID impacted the development and how it impacted the story. What are some... he asked what are some favorite moments that the cast and the producers had that they want to see explored, and a lot of those kinds of things. I'm debating if I did sneakily record it, so I can potentially show it here. But
you of all people,
yes.
Oran.
But they do talk about the first 2 episodes, and they even spoil part of episode 3.
Yeah, which also, as a person who hasn't listened to Halo as much, I was kind of like, oh, we're literally talking about what's happening in 5, 6. I obviously know some things have to happen,
right.
It's like reading the Titanic. It's like reading the Titanic and not knowing the ship's gonna sink. It's like reading the tragedy of Julius Caesar and not knowing what happens at trial.
Well, I think that's a little. I think it's a little dramatic. I think
absolutely, yeah.
I think we don't know.
Me dramatic?
Yeah,
unheard of. Unheard of. Sorry.
I don't think we truly know what's going to happen, but they were highlighting episode X is gonna be a big one type of a thing, and but yeah, I don't know if I should. I don't know. I don't want to spoil the experience because I feel like there were times when I was just like, I think you're talking a little too much, but I'm totally into it, so it is what it is. And I kind of feel like I have to know everything to cover this show so that I could filter to the listeners. But I don't know. Maybe Collider will release the video because it's just a video that they put together.
Yeah. And if after we'll force them to release it, or else we'll release it and gain all the views from it.
Yeah, maybe we'll just do that. Well, I didn't record the video because it would have been a terrible video quality, and I had to, be discreet. Be discreet.
Like that burp, yeah.
Yeah, well, I was going to edit it out, but now that you highlighted it.
It's okay, I was trying not to sneeze. We'll edit it out.
Well, pretty sure your fart you made earlier will...
I didn't make a fart earlier.
All right, well...
Yes, discreetness is also one of the things that we were talking about. But I mean, folks, I guess it's something you'll just have to look forward to and wait until dawn tomorrow. Isn't that Halo? That's Halo, right?
It is Halo. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
The silence in the room.
We waited till nightfall in order to record this episode.
Ah, yeah.
All right.
3.
3, yeah. Halo 3. Good reference. We'll record that Friday. I hope to get it out Saturday. And we'll do our commentary, we'll do our analysis, and we'll get into it.
Look forward to it.
That's really all I have left to say. As you'll learn, for the ending of all of our episodes, we say evolved, because that's our brand. Okay. So I will say, I have been your host, Oran. Thank you all for listening, and until next time, evolved. Look at that. Good job.
We should go every other word next time. That would be so much fun.
We can try that for...
Once...
Again,
another
special
shout
out
to...
All right, I'm ending this.
All right.